Hello, my name is Julian Gordon. I'm founder of the Content Creator Challenge, and in today's video, I'm going to go over the ultimate guide to content marketing, where I'm going to be answering the top 10 questions that I keep getting over and over and over from the people who follow me. If you don't know about the Content Creator Challenge, you can check it out on Instagram. It's a free 7-day challenge, really about putting yourself out there and actually reaching out to those you are called to serve and seeing how people react and respond to you actually sharing your message, sharing your truth, and sharing your wisdom. My work is really around helping coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, and experts who have found their calling and their purpose, but are struggling to find those that they're called to serve, market their movements so that they can sustainably build a business that allows them to serve who they're meant to serve without a big following and without losing faith. So this is my work, but these questions apply to anybody who is considering using content marketing as a way to attract those they are called to serve. So real quickly, I just want to go over the top 10 questions I typically get, and these are what I'm going to answer in this video. So what is content marketing? We're going to go over that. How do I gain more followers using content marketing? Does content marketing really work? How do you turn content into customers? What's the best platform to be on? Do I have to do video? If I have to do video, how do I overcome my fear and get more comfortable on camera? What app do you use to put text above and below your videos? How do you create a content marketing strategy and calendar? What if nobody is viewing my videos or liking my stuff? That's a common one. How do I find my voice and keep coming up with new, fresh ideas? And then how do you stay consistent? How do you find the time to create content? And then I'm going to answer one bonus question, which is how do I sell on social media? Okay, so that's everything that we're going to cover in this video. So we got a lot to cover, so let's get into it right now. So the first question is, what is content marketing? So content marketing, based on my definition, is the process of lovingly showing up for your prospect with content that adds value to them until they are ready to say yes to working with you. You're like, why is love in this description? Well, for me, because content marketing isn't like directly, I'm going to reach out to you and now you're going to pay me. There's going to be a period of time between when somebody sees your first piece of content and when they actually buy from you. And you actually have to love them and care enough for them to continuously show up for them in that period of time. A lot of people want to honestly just hit it and quit it. They want to put out a Facebook ad or put out a video and they want everybody to respond to that video, and it typically doesn't work like that. And so content marketing really is based in love, and it's really about reaching out and sharing your gifts, your knowledge, and your wisdom and your gold mine with the world, knowing that only a small fraction of the people are actually going to come back around and end up deciding to work with you. So that's how I define content marketing. Now, there are all kinds of content, right? There's doing lives, which is a form of video. There's a video that you can record and upload. There's pictures, there's audio, and there's text. So content comes in many different forms, and based on the platform that you're using, you can actually use almost all of these different forms. So for example, Instagram, you have Instagram Live, which can be 60 minutes before it cuts off. Then Instagram, you have Instagram Video or IGTV, or Instagram Stories, which are 6 seconds, right? Then you can put pictures, picture quotes, infographic, lifestyle photos. You can actually translate some of your podcast audio for using the Wave app to put audio on Instagram, and you can put text in your descriptions and in your quote pics. So there are all kinds of pieces of content, right? So content is not just video, even though video is one of the most powerful forms of content, and I'll explain why in a moment. But email, that is content. A fillable PDF worksheet, that is content, right? A podcast, that is content. A blog post, that is content. A webinar, that is content. A web page, that is educational and instructional, that is content. So there's all different ways to use content, and later on we're going to talk about how to find the content that is actually best for you. Okay, so back to the definition. Here you are as an entrepreneur with someone who has a cure, right? There's you and your cure, and then there's your prospect and their problem. And now typically when they are navigating their life, they're going to feel too busy to accept help from you. And the way I define sales is simply the process of getting someone to accept help. For me, sales isn't this sleazy thing where you're trying to persuade somebody to do something that's not in their best interest. Selling is actually trying to get people to do something that is in their best interest, because you know that your service or your product is going to help them get to where they're trying to go faster, safer, and easier than if you allow them to go out and continue to go at it on their own, right? But they're typically going to be too busy because they have this problem that you can solve, right? And so this is why you have to continuously lovingly show up even though you have a cure. So this is what it looks like. No thanks. We're going to keep taking our cart of rocks on these square pegs, even though you have this device over here that could help us, right? And so because you have this thing and you know where they're going to go next and where they're going to fall flat on their face, you show up, right? So you don't get mad at them. You don't get angry at them. You continuously, lovingly show up for them. Okay, hey, you thirsty now? Oh, okay, great. Well, by the way, I have this thing called a wheel that could really help you with that thing over there. All right? Nope, you're too busy. Well, I wish you the best. I'll meet you on the other end, right? You must be tired now. You've been pushing that cart for half a day. Hey, by the way, I also have this thing that's called a wheel that could really help you. And even then, they'll probably say no, right? But don't give up on them. Some of us give up on our prospects too quickly, too early, just because they didn't say yes the first time. So we have to continuously, lovingly show up for them. Okay, now are you hungry? I got some food over here, and in addition to that, I still want to let you know about this thing called the will that I created, right? So you want to continuously lovingly show up for them, and then at the end of the day, you say, now are you ready? Okay, so as your prospect is on their journey trying to figure it out on their own, you just need to have compassion. Don't blame them for being where they're at, because it's likely that you were actually where they were at some point in time. And this is where you can share content that'll help them get over the limiting belief, the limiting internal belief, or the external belief that is blocking them from seeing this opportunity, which is the will. So you want to seek to understand them, not to blame them at this moment in time. And so like I said, your content is what allows you to continuously lovingly show up for them at every moment in their journey where they're trying to figure this thing out, where they're trying to circumvent help, where they're trying to get there on their own and get caught up in the DIY process. You get to continuously lovingly showing up when they bump their head just hard enough to say, you know what, who can help me right now? That guy or that gal who is always putting out those great videos, let me reach out to them, right? And then this is where the working relationship starts, okay? So content marketing is very strategic. Every post has a purpose. You want every post to have a purpose. And a lot of people, they go out at content marketing, they just start posting randomly food pictures and things of that nature, and that has no significance to their area of expertise. And so ultimately, what you want is every post to lead people back to the top of your funnel, right? Whatever you define your funnel as being. If you don't know what a funnel is, that's a whole nother video to explain that. But you want every post to actually lead people to the top of your funnel, and then once they go through your funnel, they start to receive offers over time. Okay, so that is what content marketing is according to my definition. Let me go back to it. It's a process of lovingly showing up for your prospect with content that adds value to them until they are ready to say yes to working with you. Okay. So the next big question that I get is, how do I gain more followers, right? People want to post their content and you want to see your followers and subscribers go up as a result of actually posting quality content. And so I want to be very clear and have to overcome this assumption that people have, is that having followers really matters. At the end of the day, the only commas that matter are in your impact and your income, not in the number of followers. Now, does having a lot of followers look great from a vanity standpoint and from an optic standpoint? Yes, but the number of followers doesn't always directly correlate to the size of a business, okay? And so there are levels to this. There are followers at the base. That's the easiest thing. Anybody can click the subscribe button or the follow button, and now they're a follower. There wasn't any commitment there whatsoever, right? So followers, they typically watch and they listen. And then there's a lot of fake accounts out there. So you may have a lot of followers, but they aren't actually engage or ever going to buy from you because it's not a real account. And there are also people buying likes. So again, don't be deceived by the optics. The next level up is fans, and these are people who are starting to believe what it is that you do, and they are starting to buy from you. Okay, and so the way I think about your content marketing I like to think about it as a religion. You are essentially creating a religion around your area of expertise. And before you get people to buy from you, they actually have to believe in your religion. So the South Beach diet, that is a religion around dieting. The Atkins diet, that's a religion around dieting. The paleo diet, that's a religion around dieting, right? Calorie counting, that's a religion around dieting. So you have to get people to believe first, and then they will buy into your beliefs. Then they will buy into your products and services. Then from there, the next level up is fanatics. Fanatics, not only do they believe what you're in your religion, they are also buying from you. They also share whatever you put out, and they are selling your religion and your ideas to other people. And so it's not about followers, right? I know you want followers. Again, it looks good, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as much as you think, okay? As Tim Ferriss, author of the 4-Hour Workweek, said, he said, I always point people back to the article 100,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. If you choose your 1,000 ideal customers or readers properly and find the single author blog that targets that audience, you will never have to do any more marketing. You're done. That is the lesson that very few product developers and marketers have learned, and it's unfortunate. Okay? So when you look at 1,000 true fans, not followers, true fans, that's only 3 a day for a year, right? There's 365 days in a year. If you get 3 true fans every single day for 1 year, you will have your 1,000 true fans, and from there, you can start to build a sustainable business. What Kevin Kelly teaches is that whereas mega artists might sell a few products to a ton of people, people who have 1,000 true fans sell a ton of products to few people, or a smaller group of people, okay, to their tribe, all right? So in order to actually gain more followers, because followers is a beginning, that is the beginning of a relationship, first and foremost, you have to create valuable content, okay? And so if your content isn't getting any reactions or responses on social media or YouTube, etc., then you have to go deeper within and say, let me give more. Let me give more. You might be holding back. I know there is a vault of wisdom in your head, in your gold mine, and you might be holding back because you're like, oh, I want to save that for my course. I want to sell that. And yes, you do have to find the free versus fee line. Every business has to find the free versus fee line. It's a very thin line where you have to draw it. But sometimes we hold back too much, and as a result, nobody ever finds you, okay? So then once you do that, secondly, you simply have to ask them to follow you, to subscribe, to turn on post notifications, join your email list, to share, to like and comment. And so for those of you watching this right now, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel right now as you see this video. This is the part of the process. You have to ask. You have to ask. Yes, there will be people who watch it and say, I want to see more of this person, I'm going to subscribe. But you will get a higher conversion rate, right? You will get more converts if you simply ask, okay? So if you haven't clicked the subscribe button to my channel yet, please do that, because I drop more and more knowledge like this on the channel, so you don't want to miss out, all right? And if you do love it and you know somebody else who's trying to get their message out into the world and build their movement, definitely share this post with them. You can also embed it on your blog or and share it in your community as well, okay? So since it's not just followers that we're looking for, right? We don't just want a whole bunch of followers. We want people who we can actually serve at a higher level to become fans and fanatics. The next step is actually, in order to find them, you must first define them. In order to find them, you must define them, okay? You need to know who they are, what they want, why they want it, and what's stopping them internally and externally. And the way what I mean by define them is, I mean coming up with your avatar. Your avatar is the person who you're talking to whenever you're speaking to a camera, right? I'm speaking to a camera right now, but on the other side of this camera, I'm pretending like I'm having a conversation with my avatar, which is meant for more Michelle, okay? Or meant for more Michael. These are people who know that they have a purpose, know that they are meant for more, and they're trying to step into that as entrepreneurs, as coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, or experts, right? But if you had to name your avatar, if you had to think about your customers from the past or the ideal customer that you want going forward, what would you name them? I love to use alliteration, so here are some examples. Procrastinator Priscilla, Constrained Coach Cameron, Broke Brianna, Frustrated Faye, Workaholic Wilma, Big Idea Isabel, Done with One-on-One Desiree, Overwhelmed Olivia, Olivia, and voiceless Victoria. Okay, so I want you to take a moment to think about what is the name of my avatar? Who is it that I'm actually speaking to? Because I'd rather have quote unquote 1,000 followers of my avatar than 1,000 followers just in general. Okay, so again, I don't want you to focus on followers. I want you to focus on actually attracting your true fans and attracting the right type of followers. All right, so that's that question, and I want to move on to the next one. The next question is, does content marketing really work? How do you actually turn content into customers? Or am I just doing it for the sake of doing it, right? So a lot of people think that content marketing is just a branding exercise, and branding means that it is increasing the goodwill and changing the perception of your business and your brand in the mind of those that you are seeking to serve, and that is true, but content marketing can actually lead directly to dollars. And I want to show you some examples of how it's applied in my business. Here are some of my top posts, my top pieces of content. I had a TED Talk, a TEDx talk that has over 340,000 views on YouTube. I have an article on LinkedIn called High Performers vs. Workaholics, 7 Subtle Differences, that has over 250,000 views. And then I've had some blog posts that have over 400,000 views. Okay, so I want to show you specifically how these first 2 posts actually turn into direct revenue for me and my business. Okay, so here's the LinkedIn post, and as you can see to the right, from this post I got an email, and is the date here. I posted this on June 25th, 2014. The date of this email is October 6th, 2014. I got, and I still get likes and comments on this post, even though this was posted in 2014. And this is an email from Janssen Research and Development, which is a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, and they invited me to come speak at their company. That is a picture of me speaking at their organization, and I'll let you know that that was a 5-figure deal. My corporate speaking is definitely 5 figures, and that's a result directly because of this LinkedIn post. Okay, so so this is the power of content when done right, where your content is not something that's just cute and trendy in the moment, but it actually becomes evergreen and can actually be sending leads to you for years to come. This is another post that I did when I was first starting out for the college market. It was called 66 Things Every College Student Must Do Before They Graduate. This post went semi-viral on the internet. I sent it to the National Society of Collegiate Scholars, which is an organization that I was part of when I was in college, and they shared it with their membership list. Their membership list reacted so well that they called me up and asked me, do I have a presentation that corresponds with it? And I was like, now I do. And as a result, they sent me on a 33 campus tour to some of their schools along the Route 66 road, the actual road, to match the 66 things. And yeah, that was a 5-figure speaking deal as a result of this piece of content that I put out into the world. Okay, so again, these are just direct examples. My TED Talk that has over 340,000 views. Here are 2 emails from schools, one Columbia University, the other one Northern Kentucky, where they are inviting me to come speak as a result of seeing my TED Talk. Okay, so this is the power of content and how it can directly lead to business and to revenues. Okay, so the 2 keys to making sure that your content actually turns into customers are as follows. You have to show that you're valuable, right? That means your content has to be valuable. And then the second part, which a lot of people miss, which is I'm also available. Not only is my content valuable, but I'm also available. Here's how you can work with me. Did you like this piece of content? Well, subscribe to my this, download my this, schedule a free strategy call, call me right now, right? You have to make yourself available, right? A lot of people out there just putting great content out, but then the person who's watching doesn't know how to actually engage with them at a deeper level. So here's what happens. Here's what happens. When you are not valuable and not available, you get frustrated. It'll be a very frustrating journey, and all that means is that you need to get better. You need to get better, right? There are other people out there who are putting out, their quality of their free content is better than your paid content, right? And so you just have to get better at what you do. Then if you are not valuable but you are saying that you're available, come work with me, right? Look at me, my business is open, come hire me. You're going to get the silent treatment. You're going to get the silent treatment from the market, and that means that you need to give more value up front first before you start asking people to work with you. I'm glad that you're asking, but you need to create more value first. Okay? Then, if you're valuable, but you aren't articulating that you are available, you'll start to gain followers, which is great, right? People will start seeing your posts and their feeds and things of that nature. But ultimately, if you actually want to grow your business, you actually have to make more offers. And ultimately, where you want to be is you want to be valuable and available. And this is how you actually get paid for your purpose. And this is how and if you're doing this already, then I just want you to keep doing what you're doing. All right. So that is it on that question. Content marketing does work. I'm living proof of it. And I want to move on to the next question now. All right. So a lot of people ask me, what's the best platform to be on, and do I have to do video? All right. So there are all kinds of platforms that you can be on. I call them weapons of mass creation. You know of weapons of mass destruction, but I call these weapons of mass creation. And what I encourage people to do in terms of choosing a platform is identify the platform wherever you feel most self-expressed, where you feel you could be most of who you are. Now, you may not feel like you have a voice. You may not like your own voice, and therefore just doing audio and podcasts may not be good for you, right? But if you did the same content in a fun way on Instagram, it would come off more natural to you. So you have to find the platform that allows you to be most self-expressed. Some of you are better writers than others. And while everything may say, oh, video is the new wave, if writing is how you communicate the best, then I encourage you to go with writing and add little elements of video whenever you can, right? To just mix it up a little bit, all right? So you choose the platform that allows you to self-express the best. Now, are you more comfortable speaking? Are you an inspirational speaker, an informational speaker, like a teacher, right? Are you like a in your feelings type of rants? Are you into, do you like being asked questions? Do you like live and in person? Do you like being on camera, or do you like it to be rehearsed? Are you off the cuff in the moment type of speaker? Do you need a teleprompter? Do you speak with slides or with notes? Do you like large audiences and presenting? Do you like more one-on-one coaching? Do you like critiquing and reviewing things that are out in the world, right? So that's in terms of speaking. In terms of writing, do you like writing books, ebooks, like blog posts, short posts, commentary and reaction, gossip, research, or quotes? And then in terms of capturing, do you like capturing the moment via video, via photography, via interviewing and storytelling? And then in terms of your creation, do you like making music, art, food, funnels, woodworking, whatever it is? It could be a variety of things. You want to ask yourself these questions because whatever you say yes to will start to shape and frame which platform is going to be the best for you to self-express. All right. Now, I do want you to be aware that each platform has its own pros and cons, and I won't go into all of them here, but I want you to know that content spoils quickly online. It spoils, yes. So, of course, a Snapchat is only 10 seconds and then it's gone. Twitter, if somebody doesn't see it within 24 minutes of the post, they'll likely never see it. Facebook, email, and even YouTube is the same way. If people don't see it by the time they leave work or within the 8 hours, then that content is going to be lost forever, right? So you put all this time and energy into it, but it only served the people who saw it within that period of time. The reason we choose Instagram for the Content Creator Challenge is because it only takes 60 seconds to do an Instagram post, and that content lasts for about half a day. So for a short investment, you're getting a long shelf life for that investment. And then Pinterest is actually killing it, but you actually have to have some visual skills or some photography skills to win on Pinterest because those are the type of images that are winning there, okay? So I just want you to be aware of this in terms of your content creation. All right. Now, why is video so powerful? A lot of people say, I don't want to be on video. I'm camera shy, this and that. Well, the reason video is so powerful, first and foremost, is this, right? When you look at video, video has so much rich data in it. You can take a long form or a 30-minute YouTube video and you can actually cut it up into 30 Instagram or some 1 minute Instagram videos, right? So there are so many derivatives that can come from video. That video can be translated into an MP3, so now it's a podcast episode, right? And you can even take that audio from the video and actually get it transcribed and turn it into a blog or even a book, right? So this is why video is so powerful, is because it has so many derivatives that can be created from it, and that's one element. But beyond that, all the data supports that video is the new wave. Okay, so it's the highest form of personal connectivity beyond being in person with someone. YouTube has over 1 billion users, almost a third of all people on the internet. Okay, millennials' mobile consumption has now eclipsed their TV consumption. People spend on average 2.6 times more time on pages with video than without. Viewers retain 95% of the message when they watched it in a video compared to 10% when reading it in text. And then by 2019, which it is, video will account for 80% of global internet traffic and 85% in the US. Okay, so this is why video is so key, and I really want you to get comfortable with video and make sure that it is a huge part of your content marketing mix. All right, so with that, let's move forward to the next question, which is, how do I overcome my fear and get more comfortable on camera? I wish there was a shortcut to this, but there's no real shortcut. When you look at the most famous musicians of all time, not musicians, pianists, you look at the number of compositions that they had and their level of greatness, and you can see a direct correlation with their number of compositions and their level of greatness. And what this implies is that the only way to get better is to do and to complete and finish. The more videos you shoot, the more comfortable you'll get and the better you'll get, and the more likely that you'll achieve greatness. That's it. There's no shortcut. There's no way around it. I have taken storytelling classes and comedy classes to become a better communicator and more comfortable on stage. And then my stage presence from my speaking business actually has translated to me being able to be comfortable on camera. But I still get reservations when I'm looking at this green dot and not talking to a specific person. I'm better live than anything, but I knew that in order to connect with the world at large, I had to figure this thing out. And so sometimes I choke up and I stutter when I'm looking at the camera, whereas I don't do that when I'm in an audience in front of 1,000 people, seriously. But it is what it is, and by putting out more and more videos, I've gotten more and more comfortable. Okay, so one thing that I want to share with you is the content creator call to action, a call to creation. All right, and it reads as follows: one valuable video can change someone's life. One thing I say can light somebody's way. One word I impart can open someone's heart, and one insight given in kind can transform somebody's mind. So if you just take this short little affirmation before you get on video and know that the power of one video and what it can do in the world, this can help you overcome your fear of actually being on video. All right. Now, another big thing that keeps people from being on video is that they want to be the guru. They want to have achieved it all and mastered it all, and then they want to come down the mountain and to teach people. But if you wait to be the guru, like if I would have waited to be the guru to write my books, then there would have been a lot of people who would still be waiting, because you're going to constantly be evolving. You're going to constantly be learning new things. So you'll never, quote unquote, arrive, right? But you do have to know that there are people who can benefit from what you have right here and right now. So real quickly, I want to share with you 3 types of leadership styles that I think the third one will help you get more comfortable actually sharing your message and your story from where you are. Okay, so the first type of leader that everybody wants to be is the guru or the vet. And this is the person who's at the top of the mountain and they just want to say, look, I've been there and done that, just follow my lead, right? Look, I made $10 million. Here's exactly how you do it, right? But the problem with that is that the way you made $10 million, which took you 20 years to do, may not actually work in today's economic environment, because you waited so long to teach. Yeah, the teaching is no longer relevant. Okay, so that's the problem with the guru and the vet. The other type is actually the yeast, and yeast is like yeast when you add it to bread. Let me play this. when you add it to bread or to dough, it actually causes it to expand, right? So yeast is basically saying, I have an ingredient that will expand what you have, okay? I'm not you, I can never be you, but when you add this ingredient that I'm going to share with you into the equation, it'll cause what you have to expand. And I've been able to be the yeast for some other online leaders who are doing great work in the world, who had a lot bigger followings than me. I was able to help them unlock the hidden value in their followings because of what I'm teaching you about content marketing right here. Okay, so this is another form of leadership, but where I think will help you as you think about getting on camera and sharing your content with the world. I think the third model, which is the learning leader. And the learning leader basically says, I'll go first. As soon as I learn something and test it, I'm going to share it with you. That's it. So I'm going to be the one who goes out there and experiments and then reports back to the tribe, right? I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to be that kind of leader. I'm not saying that I have it all figured out and I know it all, but I'm willing to be the one that actually goes and figures it out and shares what I learn and the mistakes and the wins with you, okay? And so here's the benefits of being a learning leader. One, you can start from where you are today, right here and right now. You don't have to wait to be the guru and some expert on the top of a mountain. You don't have to pretend like you have it all figured out or that you're perfect, right? You get to experiment and just share your findings. You are closer to the audience so they can relate to you and you can relate to them. And your process will actually be accelerated by stepping into this leadership role by the accountability of others looking to you for guidance in the right way. Okay? So I want you to know that there are people who want to know what you know right now. There are people who want to be where you are right now. There are people who want to do what you do right now. And there are people who want to have what you have right now. Okay? So as a learning leader, you get to just simply share your journey. Right? And we know that this is what the journey looks like, the reality of it. A lot of people think it's this straight linear line, but it's not. So you get to share with them, do this first, make sure you do this. Here's a shortcut. Knowing what I know now, I would have done it this way. Watch out for that. Don't do what I did here. Be careful when you get there and don't skip this step. So you get to simply share your journey so that the people coming behind you don't make the same pitfalls. And as you advance, guess what? You're able to support more people because you are growing and expanding. Okay, so you are essentially lifting as you climb. You are lifting people up as you climb. When we look at elementary school math, there's first grade counting, second grade adding, subtracting, third grade multiplying, dividing, fourth grade fractions. Right? You don't have to go master calculus and then come back to teach somebody who needs to learn how to count. Right? If you know how to add and subtract, it means and implies that you know how to count. Therefore, you could teach somebody who doesn't know how to count, right? Does that make sense? Same thing if you were in personal finance. There's levels to this. There's budgeting and saving. There's investing. There's tax strategy. And there's estate planning. As I build my company and I build my wealth, I'm not at the estate planning level yet, right? These are the conversations that the Rockefellers are having, right? Is how do we keep this going on forever? And I do need to start thinking about estate planning, but there are levels to this, right? And if you know how to invest, it means that you've actually saved up enough money to be able to do that. So the simply fact that you are at the investment level means that you can teach somebody at the budgeting and saving level, okay? If you are at the tax strategy level, it means that you probably have many different investments. You're not just on earned income, right, or active income, and therefore you actually can teach people how to invest their other resources, okay? So I hope that this idea of the learning leader frees you up and to be on camera and to share your journey and start from where you are at. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be the guru. You can simply start by sharing where you're at, from where you're at, okay? So with that, I'm going to move on to the next question. The next question, this is a simple one. What app do you use to put text above and below your videos, primarily on Instagram? So if you've ever seen my Instagram video, I put this text above and below the video, and I had to ask this same question to figure it out, and I asked a friend of mine who I saw do it, and the app that I use to add text above and below the videos is called InShot. There's a free version, but then there's going to be a water stamp, and then there's a paid version where you won't have a water stamp. But that is the app that I use to add text above and below my videos. Now, there's some other technologies that I want to touch on while we're here that I think will be helpful to you. If you want to add captions below your videos, not just text, but turn your speech to text so that as you're speaking, the words are also appearing on your video somewhere. On iOS, the app for that is Clip-O-Matic. Okay, you can see instantly turn speech into captions. And then the best one I found on Android so far is called AutoCap. Unfortunately, it does have a $3.99 a month cost, but I tested it out and it is actually the most effective one. You don't have to add the captions to your videos, but a lot of people do actually watch video on silent. They're watching them at work, they're watching them with other people around, and they start the video on silent before they turn on the volume, okay? So this could actually help you. Some other quick pieces of technology that can be beneficial to you. The first one is the Blue Yeti USB microphone. It only costs $108, so I encourage you to get that to increase the audio quality of your videos. And then some good lighting. There's this little light that I have here that I'm using right now. So no matter what time of day you're recording, you can just plug this in. It goes right into a wall plug, and you can get a tripod for it. And actually, does a tripod come with it? I think you got to get a tripod, a little tripod for it. But it's only $38, and the tripod you could probably get for like $10 or $12. Okay, so this is some technology that'll just be helpful to enhance the quality of your video. What videographers say is that sometimes you can sacrifice on the quality of the video, but you cannot. People will not forgive you for bad lighting, and they will not forgive you for poor audio where they can't even hear what you're saying. Okay. So with that, I'm going to move on to the next question, and the next question is, how do I create a content marketing strategy and calendar? All right. So the first thing you need to do when creating a content marketing strategy or calendar is you have to ask, what is the ultimate goal? What is the call to action? What do I ultimately want people to do? Are you trying to get people to sign up for something like a marathon? Are you trying to get people to join a movement and vote? Are you trying to get people to join your 7-day challenge, to subscribe to your channel, to buy from your new online business, to visit a new brick and mortar business, to buy your online course, or to buy your new book? What is the ultimate action? Okay. Now, once you're clear on what the ultimate call to action is, from there you have to reverse engineer. Okay, and so this is how your content marketing strategy gets developed, and I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer a book launch. Okay, so when you think about a book launch, there's all kinds of things that could occur in a book launch. The first thing is you have to actually write the book. So what kind of content could come from that? Announcing the book, your first draft, the struggles of writing, the struggles of the writing process. The second draft, you're looking for the first 5 readers of the book, the final draft, and the first printing, right? So you could actually create content around all these things, right? Hey, everybody, I just finished the first draft of the book. I'm so excited. And in about a week or so, I'm going to be looking for 5 people to actually read the book. So reach out to me via email or DM me if you're interested in being one of the readers, okay? So that's an example. Next is you're going to have the book cover, right? And the book cover, you can actually have a book cover competition, which you announce it and you share the top 5 covers, and then you go into a voting stage, and then you share when the cover is absolutely done, right? So these are pieces of content you could have around that. Then from there, you need a foreword for your book, right? And so perhaps some big name in the industry that other people know agrees to write your foreword, and you can make an announcement and a big deal about that, okay? Then as you start to sell the book, you can actually announce your rankings, right? Amazon Day 1 rankings, we are 3rd in this particular niche category, and we are with 100 more sales, we can reach bestseller, okay? Then you have your book release party, and you're going to have the initial announcement, the second announcement, and the third announcement around that. Then, as you start to market the book and sell more, you can start having your specials, right? So a 2-for-1 plus free shipping special, right? So I'm going to announce that once, twice, and 3 times. And then after that, it'll be 2-for-1, but you'll have to pay for shipping, right? And I'm going to announce that once, twice, and 3 times. And then it's only going to be 1 book, but I'm going to give it to you for 25% off. I'm going to announce that once, twice, and 3 times, okay? Then the major milestones that I'm going to celebrate along the way is 1,000 copies sold, 2,000 copies sold, 5,000 copies sold. Okay. And then when people start inviting you on their podcast, or you actually pursued them to invite you onto their podcast, you announce those things along the way, right? Hey, everybody, I'm going to be on this podcast talking about my book. Make sure you check it out. It's on Tuesday at 3 p.m. You can also find it at this link, okay? Excuse me. Hey, everybody, I got invited to speak at this conference or at this event or this bookstore about my book. Make sure you stop by and visit. It'll also be on live stream. Then you might decide to do a book excerpt reading every Monday, where you do a video like this and you read a 10-minute excerpt from the book, right? So people are now hearing the book, right? You may actually take these 7 readings and they actually might create your audiobook, and then you can announce the sale of the audiobook, okay? Then, if there's new statistics that come out about related to your book and why your book is so important, you say, hey, USA News just released this statistic that only 5% of such and such know this, right? This is why I wrote such and such, right? Or something was in the headlines related to your book and you want to speak on that, okay? Then you might have a t-shirt related to your book and your movement, and you can announce that coming out and it being up for sale. And then you may have a speaking tour related to your book, right? Your fall speaking tour, the announcement, you tell people how to get their city added, and you share new stops that get added to the tour along the way. So this is an example of how you create a content marketing strategy and calendar. You start with the end goal, which in this case was to get sell as many books as possible, and then you reverse engineer that by thinking about all the different milestones and elements and things that are going to occur along the way where a piece of content could actually be created. All right. So I know that was a lot, but I really believe that this will help you. This is the same process that I use to create my content marketing strategy. So the next question I get is, what if nobody is viewing my videos or liking my stuff? All right. So this is a great question. But first and foremost, you have to know that it's not all the time that the algorithms will actually pick up your videos just naturally, okay? So after creating the videos, you have to do whatever you can to get out there in the world and share it, right? In the same way that I did that post on 66 things that every college student must do before they graduate, I shared that with a national organization that had a huge membership, and that got more attention and energy on it, right? And then once those metrics go up, then that actually impacts the algorithm the algorithm on the particular platform that it was posted on, okay? Whether that's Google Analytics, whether that's YouTube, whether that's Instagram. So you actually have to be a promoter. You can't just always rely on the algorithms to pick your stuff up. When you do, then you end up on the social media hamster wheel, and this is what it starts to feel like. You post something and then you scroll down and wait 5 seconds, and you hope that after 5 seconds thousands of people have commented and liked your stuff, and you have no likes, right? Or 1 like from your mom, okay? Then you go in and you start editing hashtags and adding a whole bunch of hashtags, hoping that it gets picked up in that way. Man, you scroll down again and you're like, this sucks. And then you start getting mad at all these Instagram you-know-whats, right, who are using their bodies to get followings, right? But again, those followers likely will never become customers, okay? Yeah, so don't be deceived by that, okay? And then finally, you go through this process like, I suck, right? I see other people out here doing stuff and getting all these likes and comments, but I feel like I'm doing good stuff, but it's not doing that. I suck and I'm ready to give up. And then we go through this cycle day after day after day, okay? So again, I just want to remind you that it's not about likes and comments, right? You have to know the difference between sexy and successful metrics. It's not about likes and comments. It's about leads and conversions. It's not about likes and comments. It's about leads and conversions. And the only commas that really matter are in your impact and in your income, not in the number of followers that you have, okay? So one big thing that you have to let go of is this spray and pray mentality, where I'm going to post, and I'm going to post 10 things today, right? And see if something catches. That's the spray and pray methodology, and that's going to leave you burned out. Instead, you actually want to target and market. There's a reason that Jesus had 12 disciples. He targeted and marketed to specific men and women, even though they don't say all that, specific men and women to follow him, right? To help him expand his mission and his vision. Now, there's also some other scripture that I think is powerful. Where it says, why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners? And on hearing this, Jesus said, it's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. So Jesus was literally breaking bread with his target market. Why would you eat with the sinners? Because he was breaking bread with his target market. That's who he was trying to convert, right? So I think there's just a very powerful lesson in this. And if I asked you, how many times have you broken bread with your target market in the last 48 hours or last week even, most people would say none. And so sometimes, especially with this technology that we have available to us, we actually get distant from those that we're seeking to serve when we actually need to intimately understand them. There's a quote that says, if you can articulate someone's problem better than they can, they will assume that you have the solution. Right? So you want to know your customer's problem so intimately, right? You want to know your avatar's problem so intimately that they assume that you have the solution to it. Okay? So if nobody's liking your stuff or commenting, then one, you just want to have more targeted posts rather than, again, posting and then praying that the algorithms pick it up. You actually want to target to specific challenges that your avatar is having, and you want to also spend time and energy promoting your post and putting the link in certain forums and trying to get it on other people's podcasts, sharing it with your email list, etc. Okay? So with that, I'm going to move on to the next question. Next question is, how do I find my voice and keep coming up with new, fresh ideas? So back to the Mozart thing from the image from here. You just got to keep on creating. You have to keep on creating to find your voice. Beethoven, Mozart, and Bach, they found their voice or their sound, right, by continuously creating. So I encourage you to, that's, again, there's no other way around it. But to simplify things for you, I created a free worksheet for you, an online worksheet called the 31 Content Ideas. And it actually goes along with the 7-Day Content Creator Challenge. And you can go to contentcreatorchallenge.com, contentcreatorchallenge.com, and sign up. And it'll give you access to this worksheet and show you how to use it. So basically, all you have to do is answer these 6 questions over here on the left. And once you do that, it'll automatically create these 31 content ideas for you, okay? So how content marketing strategy changed my life, everything you need to know about content marketing strategy, attention coaches, consultants, speakers, authors who have found their calling, how to monetize your movement. Number 1 thing stopping coaches, consultants, speakers, authors who have found their calling from succeeding. The great digital marketing industry hoax. The truth about content marketing strategy. My trick to make sure my message reaches those who need it. This just might save your content marketing strategy, right? So once you plug in your answers here, you see these are the answers that you see here in blue. This is what will occur. And so this is the easiest way that I know to start generating content ideas. And once you start to get some of the language patterns that are here that I've drawn from all over the internet, I think you will start to be able to do it on your own without even a tool like this, okay? So that's where I would start, okay? Now, one of the final questions that I get before we get into the bonus question is how do you stay consistent? How do you find the time to create content? And I want to share with you a little strategy that has been really powerful for me to help me stay focused, and it's called creative coupling, okay? So this is a post that I did on social media, and today's goal is to focus on no passive browsing on the internet. And the reason why is because what happens is most of us, we open a web browser, we open up a phone, and then that is coupled with social media. So the moment we do this, this automatically happens, right? It's become part of our way of being. It's become part of our habit, and we have a lot of things like that are coupled together that actually aren't serving us. So creative coupling is the process of connecting a task you don't like to do, right? For many of you, this is actually creating content or being on video, etc. But you know you need to do to a task you already do with the same rhythm. Okay, so what are some examples of bad coupling? We know Christmas, spend money. Payday, spend money. Weekend, spend money. Discount, spend money. Party, drink alcohol. Dishes in the sink, add more dishes in the sink. Phone buzzes, look at the phone. Email comes in, react and write. Right? So we have these couplings in our lives that actually aren't serving us. But then we have some good couplings too. So for example, brush your teeth and floss. Brush your teeth and floss. That's one that we are taught from an early age. Okay? And then my wife and I have one to keep this rhythm in our marriage of always having something to look forward to from a trip standpoint. When we're flying back from a trip that we just took together, we start planning the dates and the city of the next trip, right? So this is creative coupling. On our flight back, let's set the date and the place of the next one so that once we land back at home, we have our next trip to start to look forward to. Now, how does this work for your content marketing? The way it could work for your content marketing, for me, one thing that I do is anytime I get a haircut, I schedule a content creation day. Right? So if I know I'm going to get a haircut on Thursday, then I'll schedule a content creation day for Friday or Monday, right? Because one of the biggest blockages people have in terms of content creation or them being on camera is actually looking good, right? So tie it to your hair appointment, okay? I also have a phone alarm that I set every single day at a certain time that triggers me to create content. And then you'll see that a lot of people are creating content in their cars. So whenever they pull into the driveway of home after a day of work or whatever it is that they're doing, many people are shooting videos at that time, right? They've coupled getting in the car with creating a piece of content, okay? So these are the most effective strategies that I've found to actually make sure that you create content consistently. You have to couple it with something in your existing daily rhythm to make sure that you do it, okay? So with that, I'm going to close out with the bonus question, which is how do I sell on social media, okay? So I want to remind you that my definition of sales is the process of getting someone to accept help. Sales is simply the process of getting someone to accept help. We're being sold all the time, and you have to make offers. People aren't just going to like you and say, oh, I like this person so much, I have to go give them money and buy from them. You have to make offers at the end of the day. This is an offer is asking or inviting somebody to work with you at a deeper level. So when you look at Macy's, Macy's is one of the only brick and mortar stores of its kind to still be thriving. And what Macy's does is this is basically their content calendar. Look, there's the President's Day sale. There's the big November sale, the after Christmas sale, the Labor Day sale, the Super Sunday sale. All these things are connected to specific dates. This is informing their content calendar, right? Their July 4th sale. But then in their gaps in between the holidays, Macy's is literally just making up stuff. Look at this, the perfect gift sale, right? The 2 ways to save sale, the great shoe sale, the super weekend sale, the super Sunday sale. They're literally just making up sales out of nowhere, okay? So Macy's is formed the habit of making offers and making them consistently. The more offers you make, the more money you will make. Recently, I bought a ticket on JetBlue, my favorite airline, and after I bought the ticket, I started counting all of the offers that JetBlue made to me, okay? And so after I bought the ticket, again, imagine that they broke even on the ticket. They didn't make any money because of the gas, the maintenance on the plane, the overhead of their company. Imagine they didn't make any money on my $300 flight. But then after that, they made 19 different offers to me. Upgrade my seat, prepay for a check bag, insure my flight, rental car, hotel, buy extra miles, upgrade my seat number 2, pay for check bag number 2, food court, duty free, buy extra miles number 2, food number 2, JetBlue credit card, Wi-Fi, movies, Amazon Prime membership, rental car number 2, next trip or getaway, Sky Club membership, right? So that's other airlines. JetBlue has its own. But these are the different ways that JetBlue made offers to me throughout that process. And again, this is after I bought the initial ticket, right? So we have to get in the habit of actually making more offers. You have to show people that you're valuable first. Then you have to show them that you're available by making them an offer, showing them that you're available to be worked with, okay? So offers come in all different shapes and forms. They don't always have to be directly to go for somebody's wallet, right? You can make an offer for somebody to come to your webinar. You can make an offer to somebody to download your ebook. You can make an offer for people to wake up at 4 a.m. with you if you're going to do like the 4 a.m. challenge or something like that. You can make an offer for people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you haven't done that yet, I'm encouraging everybody watching, go please subscribe, hit the red button and subscribe to my YouTube channel right now if you're liking this video. You can make an offer to buy your online course, or you can make an offer to schedule a free strategy call, right? So there's all different kinds of offers that you can make, okay? So the way to sell on social, it's really a process of giving and receiving. Okay, it's free content, free content, free content, and that actually gives you the ability, because you build up this goodwill and trust, to make an offer. Then you give more free content, free content, free content, and that gives you the ability to what? To make an offer. So it's a cycle of giving and receiving. You're giving content for free, and then you'll be able to receive money, and that's where your business model comes in. A lot of people are out there doing great at creating content that other people are loving, but they are never receiving. They're never asking. You have to ask. It says ask and you shall receive, right? So you give first, which means that you get to give freely to the world and bless a lot of people with your free content. A lot of you who are watching this video will never ever work with me, and I completely understand that. But there's maybe 1 to 3% of you that will decide to work with me, right, over time. And I look forward to that, okay? But the way this works, this virtuous cycle that turns into reciprocal revenue, I get to give freely to the world, knowing that I only need 1 to 3% of people to decide to work with me for me to continuously giving freely, okay? Then next you have to ask, right? Every now and again, you giving so freely in the past gives you the opportunity to make an offer in the present moment, okay? And then finally, receiving. When you make an offer, perhaps only 2 to 3% of people accept your invitation, but that is more than enough to allow you to keep on giving freely to the world. That is the process, and that is how you sell on social media. It is the most genuine way to sell. It forces you to improve your game so that the content that you put out is valuable, and as that content spreads across the internet and finds its way to the right people, then it allows you to make an invitation for people who are serious to work with you at a deeper level. So with that, I'm going to conclude with a quick offer, and it's not an offer for money. It's not an offer for money. I do invite you to join my Content Creator 7-Day Challenge. Okay, you go to contentcreatorchallenge.com. I'll put the link below in the description, and it'll just be a process, a 7-day challenge for you to create a piece of content, in particular an Instagram video, for 7 days straight, to get out of your own way and start speaking your truth so that you can start attracting your tribe. Thousands of people have participated in the challenge, and collectively we've created over 5,000 pieces of content together. That is actually more than Gary Vee and Grant Cardone individually. That's what we've been able to do collectively, and that movement is going to continue to expand because I see how powerful it is and what it's doing for people. So I invite you to take that absolutely 100% free challenge, and yes, that is it. That concludes this video. If there are any questions that I missed that you want me to answer in a future video, go ahead and comment below and let me know what those questions are. Or if you have any feedback or any thoughts or any other tools that can add more color and help people with the questions that I did answer, go ahead and add your 2 cents below, and I would love to read it. So again, thank you so much for your time. Go ahead and visit contentcreatorchallenge.com, and I will see you in the next video. All right, much love. Peace.